The Philadelphia 76ers are in shambles. I've waited long enough. I've tried my best to buy time and see if this team would finally find a way to turn it around, and they have not. And one of the biggest reasons is their damn near max player, Paul George, who has been nothing short of completely underwhelming, and can officially, unfortunately, give himself the title of the worst contract in the NBA, as his production relative to the money has been nothing short of ridiculous. Giving you 16, 5, and 4 on 43 from the field, 36 from 3 on 7 a game, so that's pretty good volume, and then 82 from the line. Now, obviously, we knew Paul George was going to come in as a third option, but this dude has yet to really score 20 points consistently this season. And when you look for stuff like this, right, he'll get a wide open look, get to Embiid, right, then he'll go towards the rim, right, and this is a good take. So moments like this, you're like, okay, this is why they got Paul George, right? So when you don't have a Maxey out there, or if Maxey's getting, hard covered or hedged, cool. Then you got shots like this. I don't know why that's the take. I mean, you're low on time, I guess. Maybe you blame coaching on this one, to be 100% honest. Like, this just seems like a very poor play. Paul George kind of takes way too long to figure out what he wants to go with. And then Embiid sort of gets stuck, right? And quite frankly, again, the play of Paul George. Now, is it the biggest reason? No. Surprisingly, somehow, some way, the man that just got paid a max contract and is playing like he's a legitimate role player is not the big reason that the Philadelphia 76ers, a team that I thought was a lock top 4 seed in the East, he's not even the reason. For reference, Philly is 20-36. Now, I want you guys to understand something. The East is terrible. Like, it's a very top-heavy conference. Those first 4 to 5 seeds teams, right? Or there's 4 teams that people legitimately kind of talk about. And even then, there's only one that people truly fear, right? So the Celtics, then you have teams like the Bucks, the Cavs, and the Knicks. And the Sixers used to be just the easy shoe-in with this conversation. They are 20-36. 23rd in offense, 24th in defense, and they are the 12th seed in the West. The Brooklyn Nets have a better record than the Philadelphia 76ers going into this season. Or this 56 games into the year. 26 games are left, and there's not even a guarantee that they end up with a better record. Right? But then you get moments like this with Paul George, right? He'll draw, and again, when it's open, it looks so easy. But it's like a role player. He doesn't really seem like he's consistently creating his own shot. He'll have moments like that, right, where he tries, okay, well, that's tough. He's a tough shot taker at times. So it's going to be like that. Right? But it just reaches a point where you have a 56-game sample size, and it's no longer an anomaly. This is not a rough patch. This is not recovering from injury. This is just poor play. It's just that simple. I'm going to be honest. And then we got to get into the biggest reason. Joel Embiid, we're on to you, buddy. Hold on now. Joel Embiid, the former MVP, is averaging 24, 8, and 5 on 44 from the field, 30 from 3 on 4 a game. That is not good. And 88 from the line. And the most important stat is he has only played 19 games. At this point, I don't know if Joel Embiid is washed. I think that's very hard to call. But man, literally in this game we're playing right here, they're playing the Brooklyn Nets, a team basically actively trying to tank for Cooper Flagg or Ace Bailey or Dylan Harper. And you're getting benched. This is just sorry. I don't know what much more to say, right? Let's just look, right? Embiid goes here, right? Tries to get the finish, can't get it right. Now he's out here wasting time complaining with Oubre. Gets to his little midi pull up, loves that, right? And that looks good. And again, he has moments. This is like a troll shot. That is not Joel Embiid. That's Joel Embiid after he's 8 for, 12 or 7 for 9 or, basically after he started feeling it. But then he'll just keep chucking these threes. He keeps trying to play for the foul call, but I think the refs, quite frankly, it seems have adjusted to that and not letting him just. I don't know what to say other than this guy is not taking it serious. Like, I don't like doing this to you guys, right? Again, I gave you the stats. I'm showing you film, right? And I'm breaking it through with you guys. And this is something I don't like to do because I don't know these players, right? I'm not in the locker room. As much as I would love to be, right, and work for a team, I don't have any of that. So I'm not going to actually say Embiid's lazy or nothing like that. But I'm just going to be honest. Like, this just, at this point, this Sixers team feels like they're defeated. Like, he's taken 4 to 5 threes here, and they're just nothing but bricks, and you're playing a bad team. Like, at what point do you just stop and go, you know what, bro? I got to put my head down. I got to play for real, and I got to just attack. Like, even here, like, this one I can even somewhat forgive, right? You got 5 seconds. You basically just got to put something. But, man, at some point, brother, you got to step up. The team needs you. Like, this whole team, they did this investment around the idea that Joel Embiid was going to be Joel Embiid again. And quite frankly, right now, he looks like a shell of himself. Now, again, if he comes back healthy next year and he goes back and he's averaging 30, fantastic. But if you want my honest opinion and diagnosis of this Sixers team, man, just blow it up. Not in terms of trading it. This year, just put it on the shelf, bro. At this point, I just think it's too late to salvage it. Like, I genuinely don't think they're competing with the Cavs or the Celtics. Like, there's just, I don't know how. How would you? Like, Paul George is, again, playing like an absolute role player. Embiid's only playing 19 games, and then when he does play, he's not playing like an MVP caliber player. So as the Sixers organization, you can't sit there and be like, well, when Joe's been playing, we've been nothing short of remarkable. We just had some, some tough stretches, yada yada. You can't even say that. He's had games, right? He'll drop 30 and 10, and you're like, oh crap, Embiid's back. And then he'll have games like last night where you're getting benched against a team actively basically tanking for Cooper Flag. And Nick Claxton's hitting game winners on your team. At some point, enough's enough. This season is cooked for them. I don't know what to say. They could probably make it just because the Bulls and the Nets really might just continue to actively try and lose games. But shoot, the way the Sixers are moving, they're on like a 6 to 7 game skid too. And then finally, I got to get on my guy, Tyrese Maxey. Maxey's been one of the bright spots of this team, and even then, Maxey, man. Now, Maxey's had his highs. This year, he's averaging 27, 4, and 6. On paper, you would go, well, those are really good counting stats, Emster. And then he's 45 from the field. Pretty good. 35 from 3. And we go, Emster, that's for 9 threes a game, that is not good. No, that is not acceptable. Not that it's terrible per se, but if you're giving me that volume, I want to see 37, 38%. Like, you're damn near 40%. Like, that's some Steph Curry clip. And 88 from the line. Right? And Maxey has a lot of games where he ends up just having to be a shot chucker. Right? And now you have a genuine question of, if you do make the move off of Joel Embiid next year, if you say, you know what, the process is done. Like, we can't keep trying over and over and over, rinse and repeat, a new team, because it doesn't work. Either Joel's going to get hurt, his secondary players all of a sudden going to have a complete collapse, or when you get to the playoffs and the two things I just said haven't happened, one of them somehow magically will. At some point, you really do got to consider just blowing it up. But now you're wondering, is Maxey good enough to even... obviously, I think Maxey at his best is like a legit number 2. Jamal Murray-ish kind of player. Maybe better. But you get the idea, right? Like, and I think this season has shown a lot of his problems, right? He does at times struggle with good shot creation, like creating something of quality for himself and his teammates. Now, I do like his playmaking's taking a bit of a step up, but I don't want to completely excuse Maxey either, right? And this is not to say that Maxey's been, Again, I'm definitely putting Embiid and Paul George ahead of this dude Maxey, but it's not even a consideration in my mind that he's the top 2 reason why. Hell no. I'm sorry. The other two have one of them's barely played. One of them hasn't even played 20 games. The other one's played like 39, but he ain't being himself either. So in some ways, right, Maxey's having to do something he's not necessarily supposed to do. But the problem is, that's what you've paid him to do now. So now, the question is, how good is Maxey when he does that? And so far, he's showing he's good. Some nights, right, like against the Bucks, he'll drop like 16 for 21, right, and give you a 40 or 35. And then the next night, he'll be like 1 for 10. And again, part of it is, again, he has to chuck. Because if it's not him, then who else? Because Paul George doesn't really seem to want to take the shots. And Embiid isn't playing, so he can't take them. And even then, you had Jared McCain, who looked like he was starting to develop into something. He's hurt. So, in that way, I'm not giving Maxey a complete pass, but there's context to numbers. But again, I want to know what you guys think. But I'm reaching a point with this Sixers team. You have to consider just blowing it up. I've tried my best, right? I didn't join the bandwagon in the first 10 to 15 games of the year because, again, I thought that would be a bit foolish. Embiid was hurt. I thought everything would kind of just get back together and click. But that has yet to happen. So now I think it's about time we kind of just had that uncomfortable conversation and move forward. So without further ado, guys, I really appreciate you watching. As always, this was Mr. Knows Hoops. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Have a beautiful rest of your day, guys. Peace out.